welcome to this special broadcast. I am Mamudu Gajaga and thank you for joining us. We're talking about social registry and data collection in the KMC and BANJUL. That's going to be our topic today. It's about social protection. The Gambia government, or the government of the Gambia with support from the World Bank, is developing a social registry as part of its move towards an integrated social protection system in the Gambia. This program has been running for quite some time, and monthly they will be having a TV discussion, and in that discussion they'll be telling the public what this social registry is about and also what they want the general public to do in terms of helping them to collect their data and how beneficial is the program to the general public. I have with me in the studio Philly Suso, National Social Protection Secretariat. He is the Social Registry Manager, and also Lamin L. Damfa, Gambia Bureau of Statistics. He is Principal Statistician, and also Ibrahim A. Njai from the Department of Information. He is the Deputy Director. And last but not the least, Malang Jawo from the National Social Protection Secretariat. He is one of the Grievance and Update Officer. Gentlemen, welcome to the studio and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
First, let me start with Philly Suso. You work at the Social Registry and you're the manager there. Let's talk about the Social Registry. What is it about?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gajaga, and good evening, viewers. The Gambia Social Registry, by definition, is an information system that the government of the Gambia established mainly to consolidate demographic and socio-economic information of households across the country, and all households for that matter, with a view to using that database as a tool that can facilitate potential beneficiary identification for various social protection programs in this country. It came on the recommendation of the National Social Protection Policy, which aimed to establish an integrated, comprehensive and inclusive social protection system in the country that addresses the varied needs of all Gambians and non-Gambians alike, but one that also contributes to broader human development in the country. The policy identified a number of gaps in the social protection sector, including poor coordination and fragmentation in the provision of social protection services in this country, and we will all attest to the fact that there was no system in this place when it comes to identifying areas and individuals and groups who should benefit from social protection programs. Everyone, every organization was using their own way of doing things. This was often leading to duplication and sometimes inefficiencies in beneficiary targeting. Sometimes one area receiving support more than some other areas, or some category of groups receiving support, while there would be some more other beneficiaries who are even more deserving not receiving. On the wake of that, government decided to establish the National Social Protection Secretariat to coordinate or provide leadership in the coordination of all the social protection efforts in the country, so that we address that duplication and overlaps in interventions. And it identified certain tools that can make that work really easy. And one of them was the Gambia Social Registry, which would collect information on everybody in this country and house that information in one place, so that any program in this country who is interested in supporting people, they would request that information from the National Social Protection Secretariat, which is the custodian of the Social Registry, and they would provide the required information for that program. So that if one program is interested in disabled individuals, they will write to the National Social Protection Secretariat, who that will be able to extract the list of disabled in this country, or female-headed households, for example, or extremely poor households, for example. If you don't have such a database, it's challenging. You don't know who has what condition in this country. So if a program or if a project wants to support, for example, food insecure households. You don't just sit in your office and determine who is food insecure. You have to rely on some kind of data to help you do that. So in a nutshell, that is what the social registry is, an information system that classifies people into different groups to be able to help programs to identify the people that they want to support, potential beneficiaries. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much for that introduction. Now I'll move to Lamin El Diba. Lamin, you're a statistician working at the Gambia Bureau of Statistics. You have a key role in this. Tell us, when it comes to data collection, what's the GBOS going to do in helping implement this social registry?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kajaga, and good evening, viewers. GBOS is legally mandated to collect data that is going to be used for official statistics in general. That is basically what GBOS is mandated to do, and other functions aside. Now, specifically for the social registry, I think this is the fourth and final round that we are going to conduct on the social registry. But by nature of the exercise, it's only GBOS for now that has the capacity to do this kind of exercise, because it's a census-like exercise. It's not like a survey that you just do is select a sample and you just go to get those people and enroll them. So the first phase, I think we covered about 30 districts. Then the second phase, we covered about 66 districts. The third phase was when we covered the 4 districts of Combo. And now we are trying to complete the exercise by covering BANJUL and KM. So our function generally is to coordinate the entire data collection process, which starts with the recruitment of the potential participants in the data collection, the training and deployment, as well as the coordination and supervision of the data collection exercise. So the past couple of weeks, we made the identification and recruitment of the field staff. We also conducted a training for 10 days. And Saturday and Sunday, we were on the field to at least test the field staff on what they have learned, and also see what gaps are there that need to be addressed, both in terms of their knowledge, the participants, but also in terms of the infrastructure, the application that we are using. And of course, luckily for us, we had a few things that we need to adjust and address, and those are being addressed. So for now, so far, we are just gearing up to deploying them on the field in the next couple of days. Yeah.
Well, talking about social registry and exercises of this kind, Department of Information, well, that's also another data gathering, keeping information. Ibrahima Njai, Ibrahima, you're in the studio to talk about this. You're also a key stakeholder. Tell us about your role.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gajaga, my colleagues and viewers. Actually, the Department of Information Services leads the public information campaign for the Gambia Social Registry. This exercise also started as early as 2021, and then it has been going concurrently with the data collection. As you are aware, data collection is an exercise that requires collecting data from households, and people sometimes are unwilling to give information because of various reasons. In other words, there is what we call fatigue from respondents in terms of giving data. But because the social registry is something that is so important, it was felt necessary to have a team of communicators to go into the field, convince communities, encourage them to register with data collectors from GBOS. This way, it will make the information that is collected from the from the public authentic, so that we can have something that is good in our social registry. I mean, this country, and perhaps maybe most countries in Africa, when we talk about data collection, people start thinking about a lot of things. In the Gambia, for example, due to the COVID-8, if you go out to ask for data, people start thinking that maybe some kind of aid is coming. So there is tendency for people to fragment their households, which is not good for data that is going to be in the social registry. And it also delays the work of the enumeration teams. In fact, year before last, during the data collection exercise, I can remember Mr. Riba has to be going to different areas to convince people. So the Department of Information Services and its allies or stakeholders in this exercise to make sure we have minimal, if we cannot eliminate refusals, but we can have minimized refusals and also have information that is authentic so that we can have information that we can rely on in our social registry.
Thank you very much. Malanjao, National Social Protection Secretariat, Grievance and Update Officer. What can you update us about the program so far? Because it's had kick-started years ago, and currently the exercise, like sometime last week, you had even a training to train some of the people who will be going into the field to collect this data.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gajaga. It's good coming back here. This is one of many programs that we are doing with QTV and other TVs. The data collection exercise, we are now at the final stage. We are entering KM and BANJUL, and you can agree with me that this is one of the most complex society, and it is very important that people get the information and also understand the purpose of the data collection. So Philly has spoken well about what the social registry is about, what it can do and what it cannot do. Maybe what I will do is to give our toll-free line, which is 1229, for anybody who sees the data collectors and you want to clarify why they are there and what is the purpose of the data collection. You can call us at the National Social Protection Secretariat. We will be able to clarify. So the social registry have supported numerous programs, and I think it will be of interest for us to know that we can proudly say the Gambia Social Registry is one of the most used registries in Africa, and in fact it's possible we can even say globally. So, and secondly, if we are able to cover KM and BANJUL, we will be one of the first countries to get national coverage, and it is this census approach. So it's a very difficult task, but it is multi-stakeholder work that led us to where we are. Programs that are coming for the data will also attest that the data that they are picking is very good data and it is very helpful to their programs. So without data, it is difficult for us to be able to implement our programs smoothly. And then you spend a lot of money in trying to get beneficiaries to give support. Now, that is what the social registry is going to remove. We have the data, you just come, what we are supposed to spend on getting the data, add it on the benefits that beneficiaries are going to receive. I think that is a great thing. So we encourage each and everybody to register their households, whether you are poor or you are rich, whether you are young or you are old, it does not matter, because today social protection does not look at only your condition today. Today you might be rich, tomorrow you may not be rich. Today you may be young, energetic, and you are able to walk. Tomorrow you may be old, and then you will need some form of support. And even the young people, everybody needs some form of support. So therefore, we encourage each and everyone to register, whether you are a Gambian or a non-Gambian. Each and everyone is encouraged to register. Thank you.
Yes, when it comes to social protection, as far as this exercise is concerned, the fourth phase of the social registry data collection exercise, earlier this month, well, the first phase in 2020 covered 30 districts, like you said earlier, URR, CRR, LRR, the Fonyis, Sabah Sanjal, and the North Bank region as well. Now that you are getting into the Kanife municipality and also Banjul, tell us, what are some of your expectations?
Well, we expect that everyone in these areas would be receptive to our data collectors, and they will take interest in registering for so many reasons. This data is important for many reasons. It's part of national development. We know not everyone is at the same level in terms of our well-being. You know, there are some that are well off, there are some that, you know, struggle to meet their basic needs. And that is why social protection is important. And the onus is with government to provide assistance for these people. But government will not be able to tell who has what condition until they have data about everyone in this country. So, and just as Malang said, even for those who think they are doing well, you know, conditions are not permanent. You know, you can be doing very well today. In the next few years or so, your condition change, and you might be needing support. So we expect that everyone will have that at the back of their mind, and they'll be interested to register. We are not expecting refusals or, you know, resistance to our data collectors, because Njai and his team are going to go out to explain to the public what this is, the social registry is all about. Sometimes we have, you know, isolated cases where people blame it on politics or other things, but we just want to make it clear to everyone that this has nothing to do with politics. It even cuts across nationalities. We register everybody, whether you are a Gambian or not, as long as you live within the geographic area that we are covering, we collect information on you. It's going to help government in many respects. If government wants to take national decisions, they need to have information on everybody. You cannot base national decisions on data that is only available for a small group, because that policy is going to affect everybody. In the event of emergencies, government may need to respond. They will not be able to respond quickly, and more appropriately, they will not be able to plan their response if they have no data. And we can give the example of the COVID-19 pandemic. When it happened, government was very willing to provide support, but it took a lot of time to try to determine how to identify who should benefit, because they don't have all the resources to provide for everybody in this country. But how do we identify those that are most vulnerable, or those, you know, that are most in need, so that we target those for the support? And because of that, you know, the support could have been, you know, provided in a better way. So it is out of all those lessons that government decided to come up with this. So our expectation is that everybody will see this as part of national development, and they will come forward to register with our data collectors. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Diba, I come back to you again. When it comes to the exercise, how has it been going on so far? Have the respondents been very good, cooperative, giving information willingly?
Okay, that's an interesting question. But then data collection in the Gambia here, more especially for the more urban centers, the west, the north, common north of the west coast, coming down to Banjul, has always been a challenge for us in terms of data collection. It's not easy. You have, okay, people they tend to be educated, but those are the people that we expect to understand that we need data for better policy. But you also find it ironical that these are the very people from whom you get the most challenges. They pose the biggest challenges for us. It's not been easy. We are just from the census, and of course, I think it was Ibrahim who said this country has been over Soviet. So many Soviets have been going on. People are tired of responding to questions, and you go to them, they keep telling you, okay, you know, we are tired of answering. Every now and then you come here, you ask the same questions. Okay, and that's quite true, because the Gambia is very small, and there are so many investigations that are going on, and we are going to the same households. Again, others will tell you, look, you know what, go to the poor people, we are not poor. And others will politicize it. But sometimes we have to be careful about that component. It's not, the politicization of this is not isolated. You know, it comes from somewhere. And that is why we need the politicians to be educated on this, so that they help us on the ground, because they are the ones closer to the people, and are the ones who understand better what social registry is all about, what social protection seeks to achieve. But generally, what data collection does for a country, for an economy, we are not going to register people to give them money. And I don't think there is any activity here, apart from social assistances, that will give monthly cash to people to complement their own economic activities. However, when you look at things that have happened over the years, especially from the COVID-19 up to the last elections and so forth, we had witnessed several gatherings where people have been registered and they've been supported by giving them a bag of rice here and there. And now we are accused of being the people responsible for registering the people who benefit from. And this is where the misunderstanding
kind of a misconception.
Yes, and this is where the misunderstanding is. And when we send our people, we send them with an identification. The identification bears the logo of the Gambia Bureau of Statistics, the Gambia Code of Arms, the NSPS, and then the World Bank. These people come to introduce themselves to tell you, look, we are from Gambia Bureau of Statistics, and then we are on an exercise that is commissioned by the National Secretariat under the OVP. Naturally, there is nothing in that introduction that tells you we are registering you for a support. So we are not registering anybody for support. We are registering people to establish a national social registry that will be used by government and its development partners for social protection interventions. Now, other people who will resist, who will refuse to respond to us, become beneficiaries of this data, not as direct beneficiaries of interventions, but they need this data for other things. I'll tell you, there are two people who we had issues with for refusing to give us data, and interestingly, a couple of months down the line, one of them came back to the office to request for the same data that he refused to give us. So
that's quite ironic.
Yeah. So this is the data collectors that you see in the field, in the homes, are basically people like you who are sent for a mission. The other thing is, which is ironical, is that a lot of we have 222 field staff, excluding supervisors. So altogether, we have 255 staff we are sent to the field, most of whom live in the KM, BANJUL, and the Combos. Now, what is interesting is you will see people whose children are already working in this exercise to collect data in other people's households and get money to bring them to bring for them. But those same people are going to be the ones denying other people to interview them. It's ironical, right?
Yes.
So you benefit from it. You send a child to go and collect data from somebody else, and that person brings money from that work, but you will deny somebody else's child from collecting the same data from you that your child is collecting from another person.
Yes, let me jump in here. I think, Ibrahim, is it the awareness raising? Is it the sensitization that is lacking? Or is it just basically this is just attitude of people, you can't do anything about it? Because I could remember when they were doing the national census, population and housing census, I was the one who was being interviewed at my household. Mm-hmm. And it took, I think, close to 3 hours. But I was patiently sitting and waiting, responding to each and every question. So I think an important national exercise like this, when people are kind of restrictive or refusing to give information, that doesn't tell well.
Yes, I don't think it is the sensitization. For me, I would say the sensitization has done a great deal and is very effective, because if you look at the number of people who willingly accept to be enumerated compared to those who refuse to be enumerated, the number that refuse is very, very minimal. So the sensitization at least is doing a great deal. And then over the years, we keep on improving how we communicate and persuade people to register with GBOS. This is one exercise that is also an opportunity for me to call on people that they should register with GBOS. All household heads, if you refuse to register your household, you are doing a great disservice to your household and to the country. This is a message that we have been sending to people, and we have urged them. And then I'm glad to know that at least the greater number of Gambians and non-Gambians who are supposed to be enumerated are responding. We have employed various means of communication to convince people, from printing and distribution of promotional materials, use of influencers, using various programs, and then going up to the extent of using personal face-to-face contact. We have a team of information officers who will be in the field talking to various segments of the population, but principally household heads, to encourage them to register. We will always continue to work with our partners, to make sure the few that are not understanding or unwilling, will one day or sooner than later accept to register with GBOS.
Mr. Jao, is there any way that you can entice the people?
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I know the data collection, like you previously said, is not about, okay, you're collecting data. Once you get this information, you're going to go to households and start dishing people money. Like, it doesn't work like that. But probably the government has certain policies in which they would want to support the public, especially the underprivileged ones. What sort of message are you going to send to the public?
So, thank you. Luckily, as we speak, the National Social Protection Act 2024 has been passed, and then now we have an act. It has been assented to by the President. And one of the clauses of that act is to use the social registry as the primary point of call for all programs that are giving support to the people. Now, let's say, for instance, your household was not registered, and then a program came and then took data from the social registry to go and give support within your community. So automatically you are going to be excluded, and then your household will be excluded. So the other thing is, it's not by force. We are not forcing anybody to register, but we encourage everyone to register. So the other thing is, like, you are a household head today, and then unfortunately that no one can predict it. It come and take you off, and then you were the one that refused to register. When your children were young, they could not take decisions. And then you are no more there, and a benefit came that they were supposed to benefit, and they will miss out. So obviously you have caused a harm that it lives even after you. So this is why we talk to people to say this is not something that we just work on for today, but we are planning for the future as well, both today and for the future. So we again continue to encourage every household within the KM and Banjul to register. Like I said, if you have any query or question, you can call 1229. It's free of charge, and then we will be able to respond to your queries.
If you're just joining us, this is a special program. We're talking about Gambia Social Registry Program. It's about data collection. It's also about social protection, helping the public in a certain way. But first, they have to get the data to be able to do this. We're now going to take a break, and when we return from the break, we will delve into the local languages.
Kori Natalia, kanyin karaoke, singir jelle bije, mo jelle bije, dokula jelle bije, fofinkin tedum bije, kewa jelle bije, podinin jelle bije, ne rol mol mil bulo me ko ben, nyin karo, purde maru, ni magwero nata sinin samu. Kori Natalia, mi social registry mol Natalia, kanyin karaoke, kisi roke, ngadani ya gedema nami nafabi watasi nafaso manyato takanale sinkirkana tukoma NGO masakunda private sector kasula nyena la pudema rola tilingo amanke politikuti hana tekele kuti savero purbanku dingon la kalamuto amanke ngaibe kuti hana te wanyar kuti information obe safe katambi kodoti bank ngake soni ya kuti kakibar sahaya rindi pur Gambia lon tolbela denna banko otoni Gambia social registry mol Natalia Naldani Senyor Dema Gambia Social Registry Mil Martala Wallemu National Social Protection Secretariat Vice President wala Office Koto
Gambia la bunna Membu Social Registry Walla loda eko sikiro nesafe Walla National Social Protection Secretariat Vice President of all Office Gambia la bunna Membu Social Registry
Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. As we earlier talked about, this is the National Social Registry Program here on QTV. It's a special broadcast. It will be coming on monthly once. And now we are going to get into the local languages. Badingola tol min ben jibe kan QTV ni mo ale programme multimé alonko karo kono sinya kilina kana alla télé bumbato jang QTV be min kacha kan bi wala National Social Registry Programme amo programme le mi alon ko mol lebe soto la mi alon ko be duna kordal le kono ibe kibarol tala mol bulu dal mol mi alon ko wolle be sabatiri wo suwol nyin kono kulo mi alon ko man sakundale a nyaton kaya abe office min koto wala vice president wala office oti ngam le soto fe jan studio kono mi alon ko ni wolle be kacha kan folo folo ndiyam tanu angale kan wala pour ka jibe ibe mol yamar la no nyaadile ni naate ya pour ka nyinki baro nyinta SSC ini diamo ini ya domandama nyofe e sulata information o minna wala sa fo sulata kibaro minna isa dila ngamil soto face yang studio kono fili suso bo wala kono Mr Diba bo wala kono Mr Jao aning zafo dal Mr Njai fana milbe face yang studio kono fili nsa follow there ida be molti mi anon ko be doku wala nyindinkira nyinneto andi mo kumalati je ni nata ñing social registry la karola kabra la programme ñing start abe ñaadi le seduma nim fono mo leje
ok abaraka ba ke gajaga be juber lal be kontonna Gambia social registry ya tubawa kamato kibar bungolo kibar mangasino masakuna mellondi pour ka kibaro kensu nyokan banko dingol ning mol mimbe be Gambia ila al haloto ñing kama o kibar bu mo ci dara lori pour ka banku do ko sona yandi ni masakunda lafta ka decision dolta e nyanta lon nal muno banku do ngol al haloti isaji salo e ba mun decision le tala pour ka o yiri wonde kibar bu mo ñim fana ana faamu menti wa don ka de mar bundal sotole bir masakunda ko masakunda do ñol milia lon ko e kala fi fotala mol ma koy bari ibuka lon hala soto so ni kibaru bungo soto min ka munta mi yalon kay mol bel al halo soto ni dun daje salon nole ko sunkudu ni jamal lo mu sunkudu ni ngolti milbe nying sanji kare sa me adolescent girls for example o sa fono esi mol soto ne je jamal lo mu solti mil mu sinkir nyaaton ko wolti jamal lo molti mil la njuro soto ni ma wo kibaru bon sifa soto hani de mar bunal lafta ka kidi kata mol de ma aka kolea bakele wakatina aka wati jamata pour janiyo fotala mol maka do ko ke because foyeta e mol be safe follow o kola ya long jamale mun condition so isina mol tomba wol kono etel sura kamil mako e bari masa ko na ko ngin kibar bu ngolondi isaje de mar bundal mil bebe na la pour ka de maro ke isitano je sinya killing e nyinen karo ke tel lafta conditional minna den National Social Protection Secretariat mim marata wala iso wokkibarol bandi ya di wo programme la yete mako e nafaɓe wala kono nafa kam foiro lede mañi banko kan roots programme ɓe wala kono on the Ministry of Agriculture e tel ka muso lede ma min sécurité ani ka senoke CRS Catholic Relief Service e fana yede ma rol dimo lale ka bring sanji follow ma fongala sinkiro la million ko ila domorol dasata ani China fana ne yede ma rodi Gambia la pour ka konko tala ka domor manko tala e wonate through Office of the President e kawdi ko e Gambia Social Registry use pour ka mul identify million ko e bulome ko ben so wokibar bungo Social Registry wole magoro ke katabake pour wo programme le futano mulma e lafta kamil makoy so masakunda yo kibar bungo londe wole kama pour ka banque do ko sonandi ka demar lal makoy e futala mulma e lafta kamil dema wala mo Social Registry nafati in short yeah
lam diba itebe do ko la dinkira minto wala Gambia Bureau of Statistics ti atol ka kibarota ka censu nyokan safo ale mol sodal million ko le ka dun kordal kono ka mol nyinin ka kibar jamal bawo nyin kibarol kumayatal pour que ka fu nyom alla do ko nyin akenya be nyaadile nal ni mol diamuta pour ka nyin kibarol censu ale ko la ko dol sodo jela ba
ya baraka gajaga mbe jibe la fam be kontona ila nyin karo nyon ko mera bak nanyin kisi siro kono ka kolya ko sodo jele kolya ko dum ga bay yo bari kolya ko fana ningi soro nga tala fana mbe solution nyin le nyame bari kolya ko nyim fana menti wala muko molla fahamro dol bi la fahamro de sata ba dol bi ye fahamro kala bari balan ken son ko katara wala bar do fana biye la balon ko summen wala mo ko ika kolu tanim politiko silol ya non ñun kono ñun dogo kono kulti jam yalan ko politiko ba kono mo ta ñun kono mi yalan ko politicien kuba e politiko ba kono e bar niaje de marobe sonyala ibira dulade be kibaro ta je programme mol dema katalo kibaro je sunu nyokan o kibaro don naman na nyokan comme ndiam na frole af nyamen ni de kala modi mi yalan ko balanda pour la kibaro eta sama al halos na lay kan me yalan ko be sura pour mo yedema barka fude de mari ma asesna kolya yon doldon ngamol men ki ngame membe kan wala mu ngamol ta ni karandi do ko nyin kenyala aning duna mol kan nyamen ni karno bela o kala ngane bulandi digral do karabula mol la solo kono kamul kacande e bari kolya kolu men ka sore je o buka bondo la mol la karola to mando wato skeno modolo la diamu nya asatin na modo si balang bari na miroto ninna dinol tamita men na diamu nyato anin kacandere nyato anin karamoto way jiko yitanna la ko na molo ningi ki manyan na kolya ko sotala bar hani ana man gandolde nga kisi jamal sore jana mina ko kolya ko sore je sensos mara wala sa mammi baki lal sore jana mina ko labo ngamira paramilitaire la banda blanda mol no makema ko pour molsi sonno kenyininka yo dol kera kolya ko mi alon ko e ko dalile ko trala men ka tan nak balango so andum be dandro kala mol la bake pour ni na mol jimen nata to nya an ka fana mol la mo bor nin kana dum mola so ko no yela id card man re bala beren de ko men ke dila de ka sabay modo dun no la logo mo foye no bar bo no yela id card mi alon ko ba taman so reten la ko nyimbe jibos ko la kinan jam mo kana woto koma ni wol nade kay ngoy ko jibos len kinan yela ndaraloje mi dandro kala du ko mol ye wakili ye kacandi solo men na ya dila hani ngatre bela konton fo tala fa ya dila fo bastala pare bodo won be solo da mol de maro dal yam yende ma prusi na son na molto ye kacandi ye kibarol jansu nyokan ko diam la fa nyame fo mol fa nan de maro men sina sama asi sonne ana nyame
Seng sida Ibrahima Njie ita fana beddo ko la kibar janjong la fonal la atol le ka dia mum moyle pour ka itandi la ko nyim mukulti mi anon ka kuma ta bake alla do ko sa kunna sutendi dron be nyaadi
hade abaraka bake tonya na do ko wolem komi kamol kalamtandi anin fanan ke waklindi pour se safero ke bawo be ngalon safero meta kala safero siyata aya sabo mol pasita yo mtolnata fero landi pour kamol waklindi nka finti mol kan nka ta foy la sol kono nka tayla banta balto nka diam almamole ani nyaton kol hanin nyaton kol mi ko nga kate fayli nga kate fayne pour sida nka futawol be kan pour semma koy ke la mol wakilndi e safe nyin safero mo manya na tula koma asafero kuma ya batale ni tuta koma sama sinin ni kunata i fangre be fanjala ka do ya ka ko etele balanta wala tan ka mo be dani pour mo be sakata ni saferal nata yesira ngo dila ni yesi kacha safero ni si kakachale wati dantandron i pareta isaji tela kibaro asitra ni kibari manga sinoto ikafumi Gambia social registry saji sama sinin programme nata miyan ko wala demaro tata itebe karo munna isaji isute o sonia katabake hade pour ka kuma sutiande nyinam
malan jaw e fanam be do ko la nyin din kiralto atol lebe mararen ku jamal la pour ka je ko nyin ko nyin sitano nyaato nyamin abe tembe da jumal to ani safo surwa kan la karola binarete ñini kala wala malang yow yaa ngi liggéey si liggéey kay bunti bi mooy social protection national social registry mbir mi commencé ngeen ko ay at la si gannaaw léegi fu mu nekk nii daal yéen a ngi ñëw si kombo bi mooy Kanifing municipality ak boori Banjul def ngeen boori Basse def ngeen boori ñoomi ak yeneen gox yi nga xam ne gox-goxaan yi nekk si réew mi wax ñu liggéey bi fu mu toll nii.
ok jërëjëf ñu ngi nuyu ñu seetaan tey comme ni nga ko waxee social registry bi dañ commencé ñetti at si gannaaw fu mu nekk nii mën nañoo wax ne Gambia yëpp Kanifing ak Banjul ñoo des te képp ak nga xamante ne mu ngi dëkk si tund yi nga xamante ne jël nañ kibaar bii nii bon yow bokk nga si social registry bi léegi ñu des rek mooy ñaari gox yi ni Banjul ak Kanifing pour ñu mun a am national coverage social registry dafa am yenn liggéey yu mun a liggéey si réew mi mooy comme lu mel ni su nguur buggee jàppale nit ñi foofu la moo dem jël ñi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo si yelloo mu jox leen ndimbal boobu noonu fekk kooku noonu demut uti nguur tamit demut uti ku moo jàppale already am nañ loolu yëpp social registry bi dina jàppale ñi nga xamante ne ñu ngi si biiram parce que tey su nekkee am nga jafe-jafe comme lu mel ni disaster mooy comme
ay tafaar daal
ay tafaar yoo am si dëkk bi comme nawet yi nii wala ngelaw wala safara loolu yëpp su amee si gox ñu ngi waxtaan ak disaster management balaa ngaa dem toog ñaari ñetti fan be nga ne yaa ngi uti balaa ngaa dimbale nit ñi ñëwal ñun dinañ la jox képp nangami nit ñoo dëkk fii ñangami kër ñoo fi nekka so yow xam nga ne quick response bu ngaa def xam nga ñaata ngaa yóbbuwaale den soo paree li ngaa uti loolu waaye di nga mun a am jàppale bu gaaw da ngaa toog nguur am jàppale wala yeneen banques comme yu mel ni UN wala World Bank wala even nit ñi nga xamante ne am nañ doole bugga nañoo jàppale nit ñi mun nañoo ñëw ñu ne ok comme man maa ngi bugg a jàppale ñi nga xamante ne seen waajur yi dañ gaañu te xale lañ jirim so loolu tamit soo ñëwee si système bi ñun mun nañoo jéene loolu yëpp jox la ko te fekka doo yàgga sax mun ngaa yóbbu loolu te doo joxe benn xaalis nekkul ne dangaa fay so social registry bi ñu ngi ñaax nit ñi especially ñu dëkk Kéem ak Banjul pour ñu jàppale seen njaboot bi ñu nangu pour ñu binda seen kibaar bii nekkut census def nañ loolu passé na bii kibaar la bu nga xamante ne dañ koo denca pour ñi nga xamante ne bugga na ñoo joxe ndimbal ñu mun a am kibaar bu nga xamante ne boobu la ñoo jël comme Mr. Diba lu mu wax soo ñëwee Kombo fii nii data collection mooy jël xibaar nit ñi dafa jafe fii torop di nga dem si kër yi nga xamante ne dañoo tëj seen bunta bi mun ngaa konko besoona kenn du la faale especially suñ xamee ne yow loolu moo la indi ñeneen ñi dañoo bañ pour ñu jël seen kibaar waaye li ñoo wax nit ñi rek di leen ñaax mooy nañ nangu ñu binda leen parce que tey mun ngaa bañ a bindu ëllëg nga am soxla bu nga xamante ne soloon nga nit dimbale la nguur dimbale la wala keneen dimbale la te kooku am na ndimbal bi mu ngi la bugg a dimbale waaye mënut laa dimbale parce que sa kibaar bi amuñ ko wala tey yaa ngi am waaye ëllëg kenn xamut lu nekk mun naa am te mun nga soo ñaakee di nga soxla ndimbal comme man ak yan ñun ñëpp fii ju ngee liggéey tey alhamdulillah lu ñoo dundee moom am nañ sutura boobu noonu waaye mun ngaa dem ba mag nga retire soo retire amatuloo liggéey dangaa nekk di dawantu su nekkee xale yi maguñ pour jàppale la dangaa soona soo nguur dafa war a jàppale façon nit ñooñu noonu fi li wax na fii yi programme yi nga xamante ne ñu ngi jëfoo social registry bi pour jàppale nit ñi man bu maa njëkk a wax mooy di family strengthening programme boobu government ñooy jàppale i mag yi 70 years dem si kaw nga am i xale yi nga xamante ne jirim lañ seen ñaari kilifa yëpp gaan ñu ne jigéen yi nga xamante ne ñoo jiite seen famille bi ñoom ñoo dee uti dundal xale yi ak yu mel noonu ak nit ñi nga xamante ne
sa Jaw dafa mel ni comme waxtu bi jàmm nañu bëgg nañoo continuer waxtaan bi dafa mel ni daal lii la ñu waxtu meyoon baɗi ngona toon ɓe programme on jiiɓe kan social registry mollam ɓe kuwol kaca kam mi alon ko banko mol pour que e tol sefe ke la kibarol cen suño kan isaje man sakunda anin faye demara bundal ni la famol demala. That's it for this edition of this special program on social registry, national social protection, and I'm your host Momutu Kachaga. Until next time, have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Kori Natalia, kanyin karaoke, Singir jelle bije, mo jelle bije, dokula jelle bije, fofikin tedum bije, kewa jelle bije, podinin jelle bije, ne rol mol mirul bulo me ko ben, nyin karo, pour demaro, ni magoero nata sinin samu. Kori Natalia, mi social registry mol Natalia, kanyin karaoke, kisi roke, kari ngadani agede ma. Nami na fabi, wata sina faso manyato takanale, sinkir kana tukoma NGO, masakunda, private sector, kasula nyena la pude marola tilingo, amanke politikuti, hana tekele kuti, savero pur banku dingon la kalamuto, amanke ngaibe kuti, hana te wanyar kuti, information obe safe katambi kodoti bank, nake soni ya kuti, kakibar sahaya rindi, pur Gambia lon tolbela denna banko, otoni Gambia social registry mol Natalia, naldani, senyo deba. Gambia Social Registry Mil Martala Wallemu National Social Protection Secretariat Vice President wala Office Koto.
Gambia la bunna membu social registry walla no dai ko sikiro le sape walla National Social Protection Secretariat Vice President wala Office. Gambia la bunna membu social registry wala bulala ko sikiro de sabe Gambia la bunna membu social registry